Hello friends, welcome back to the channel and happy Wednesday. Yesterday we got a bunch of information about Dragonstorm and I did post a video about all the new reveals, so make sure to go back and watch that. But today and for the next couple days, they announced that they're going to be doing a full breakdown of every single commander deck. So today we're going to be looking at Jeskai Striker. I'm going to get the names at some point. So make sure you subscribe because for the next couple days, we're going to be talking about every single one of these decks as they get revealed. But like I said, today is Jeskai Striker. Let me know in the comments, are you excited about this deck? Is it the one that you're most excited for, least excited for? Let me know what your thoughts are and give the video a thumbs up. It always helps the algorithm. Now, let's jump right into it. So these are the 5 commander decks. I'm on the official website of Magic the Gathering here, and you can see here Tarkir Dragonstorm Commander deck list. But when you scroll down, you will see that, for example, the Abs and Armor, we did get the 2 commanders, and I talked about all of them yesterday, so go back and watch that. And then they did announce, like, all the cards will be revealed. In this case, this one is March 24th. But today, we got Jeskai Striker here. The full video here is from this YouTube channel that I don't know who it is, but I'm sure they've got some great content, so make sure to go watch them as well, because they do a full breakdown and they probably got the actual cards, and they actually have a budget upgrade, if I understand their thumbnail properly. But what we're going to be doing is we're just going to look at the reveals of the cards. So let's look at the 2 commanders one more time. We got Shiko and Narset Unified and Elsha Threefold Mastered. This deck is going to be a white, red, and blue. Both the commanders have that, but then the Shiko one also costs an additional 1. So let's read what they do and then kind of look at all the cards and see if they mesh well in the basic pre-con without having to upgrade or anything like that. So Shiko Narset has Flying and Vigilance, and they have the ability of Flurry. So whenever you cast your second spell each turn, copy that spell if it targets a permanent or player, and you may choose a new target for the copy. If you don't copy a spell this way, you can draw a card. So the idea, if I understand the deck properly, is that we're going to want to play a lot of cheaper cost spells so that you can obviously double up the amount of times you're going to do it, because your first spell is going to be played as a normal time, but the second spell you play each turn, you will be able to double it. So you're going to want to really make sure you choose properly when to play which one, and ideally you want to be able to have enough mana to play multiple cards. And the good news is that if you cannot duplicate the ability, you are going to get to draw cards. So you always get something out of it, which is really good. The other one here, Aisha Threefold Mastered, has Trample and Prowess. So this card is going to keep getting stronger the more you cast spells that are not creatures. Only for that turn, obviously. But whenever this card deals combat damage to a player, they will create that many monk creature tokens with prowess. So let's say you have a turn that goes really well. You play 4 spells that are not creatures. So this card gets +4/+4. So now it's a 5/5 creature, and it has Trample. That means that if your opponent still blocks it, you're going to still do the leftover remaining damage to it. But let's say you are at a 5/5 and you do a full 5 damage to an opponent, you are going to create 5 monks that are all 1/1, but they all also have prowess, which means that on next turn, if you play another 4 spells, this card's going to be a 5/5, but also all the other monks will also be 5/5 monks. So this can get pretty crazy very quickly, which is really cool about this deck. So let's actually look at the full breakdown here. I opened up, or so you can see here, 19 creatures, 15 sorceries, 37 lands, which I'm going to guess most of them are dual color lands. Yeah, we're not going to look at every single one here. 4 plains, 5 islands, 5 mountains, and then the rest are all dual, which is good. You've got 6 enchantments, 8 artifacts, 15 instant spells, which is really good. And let's see here if I can do a breakdown. There we go. So you have 9 cards that cost only 1. 14 cards that cost 2, 17 cards that cost 3, and 12 that cost 4. So you are looking at a lot of the cheaper cards here in the deck, which is really good. So you can see more than, well, if my math is good, way more than half is less than 4 costs. Then you've got 5 costs, 2 6 costs, 1 7 costs, and 2 8 costs. Overall, only 8 white cards, 20 blue, 14 red, and 13 multicolors. So it seems like a good mix, white being the least amount in there. And then this is just the card types, which don't really matter. So let's close that. So we already looked at Shiko, we looked at Aisha, which I do like the art as well for this one. Let's just basically keep going down. We're going to look at all the cards. Might not read every single one, but just to give us an idea of what to expect on the art side and on the ability side to see if this deck seems that we can kind of understand the combo and see if it's an exciting deck or not. So the first thing you have here is the Transcendent Dragon. That's one of our 6 costs, all 2 blues and 4 flash flying. Flash is really cool for the dragon, so you are actually able to play it when it's not your turn, so you can surprise your opponent with a defensive creature, which is really good. Has flying. When this creature enters, if you cast it, counter a target spell. Ooh, if that spell is countered this way, exile it instead of putting it into the owner's graveyard. Then you may cast it without paying its mana cost. When this creature enters, if you cast it, counter a target spell. So that's cool. So you can actually use this to counter an ability, a spell from someone else, and exile the card. And it also lets you play the spell that you stole. You can steal the spell from that player and not pay the mana cost. That seems really strong, which makes sense for a 6 cost. Then we got Voracious Bibliophile. I hope I said that right. Another dragon, flying and vigilance. Whenever you cast a spell with 1 or more target, draw that many cards. Oh, that's exciting. So that works really well with the flurry ability as well. Caldera Pyrma, another dragon. God, I love that. The dragons look really cool. I was a little bit concerned that they were going to be lame, but the art for these are really cool. This one, another flying, which makes sense. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Then this creature deals damage equal to its power to target opponent. So fun little thing here with this card. I just want to see this. Actually, this card too, is that a new thing? Because, so let me explain what I'm trying to say. I don't know if you guys are noticing or not, but the description of the card says when this creature enters, instead of saying when Transcendent Dragon enters. So that is already a step in the right direction, that they're taking away the name of the card within the description to shorten it. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I'm sure if you've played Magic, you know that most description of the cards will always say, they'll repeat the name of the card in the description multiple times to say what it does. But in this case, if you read here, they remove the name of Caldera Pyrma or Transcendent Dragon, and it just says this creature. 10 out of 10, cutting down on the words on the description. So that's awesome. So this one gets +1/+1 for every time you cast an instant or sorcery. Then this creature deals damage equal to its power to a target opponent. God damn, that's really strong as well. These are all rares as well, so that's good. Mangara the Diplomat, another rare, lifelink. Whenever an opponent attacks with creatures, if 2 or more of those creatures are attacking you and or planeswalker you control, you get to draw a card. That's awesome. Whenever an opponent casts their second spell each turn, you also draw a card. So this is really good again, because you're going to want to have as many cards in your hand to play multiple spells. Monastery Mentor, Prowess, which is good. We know what that does. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 white monk creature token with Prowess as well. Dang, that's this deck overall. Just looking at the first like 10 cards, I already can tell what the combo is going to be, and it sounds really fun. Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, you draw a card. Pretty simple there, and I like what it does. Haughty Jin, and I want to say so far the art really cool on these ones. I think the Monastery Mentor is kind of lame, but everything else so far, I do like the art for those. The Haughty Jin, flying, this creature's power is equal to the number of instant and sorcery spells in your graveyard. Ooh, that's going to be a really good long term, like a late game card after you've played multiple spells. Instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less. Oh my god. Okay. Lear, Disciple of the Drowned. That's a really beautiful art right there. Spells can't be countered. Oh my god. Each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard has flashback. The flashback cost is equal to that card's mana cost. Manaform Hellkite, another wagon there. This is a mythic card. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create an XX red dragon illusion creature token with flying and haste, where X is the amount of mana spent to cast that spell. Exile that token at the beginning of the next end step. Very good as well. Baral and Carry. I like that. I like the coloring on this one. First Strike and Menace. Whenever you cast your first instant or sorcery spell each turn, you may cast a spell with lesser mana value that shares a card type with it from your hand without paying its mana's cost. If you don't, create First Mate Ragavan. A legendary 2/1 red monkey pirate creature token. It gains haste until the end of turn. That's pretty cool too. So again, a lot of the combos here for this deck are about playing your second spell, but this card is going to actually reward you for your first spell that you play each turn. So that's a really good combo too. Man, so far, I like what I'm seeing here. Starting to convince me that maybe I want this deck. Velomachus Lorehold. That's a really cool Elder Dragon there. Another mythic. Flying Vigilance and Haste. Whenever this card... Oh, see? Okay, so this card has its name. Instead of saying whenever this creature attacks, it actually says whenever Velomachus... This is what I don't like. Why are we doing this? Why in the same deck are we getting cards that have different... That's annoying. Look at the top 7 cards of your library. You may cast an instant or sorcery spell with mana value less than or equal to this card's power. Should say this card. From among them without paying its mana's cost. Put the rest at the bottom of your library. That's good. Except for the... Look at how much longer the text is. Anyways. Ooh, look at the art on that one. Veyran, Voice of Duality. Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, Veyran gets +1/+1 until the end of turn. If you cast or copying an instant or sorcery spell causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that triggers additional times. God damn. Wow. Okay. I feel like, what was the... I think one of the Thunder Outlaw Junction decks, one of the spell casting decks from that one is very similar to that. And I remember finding that one really cool too. Young Pyromancer. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create a 1/1 elemental creature token. Pretty simple there. Love the art for that. Look at the little cute little fire cat. A goblin. Just one goblin in this deck. Instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less. That is fantastic. And it's a very cheap card, so you can get that out early if you pull it. Gutter Snipe. Oh, there's another goblin. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, this creature deals 2 damage to each opponent. Then we got Storm Kiln Artist. Nice. A dwarf. This card gets +1 attack for each artifact you control. And then whenever you cast or copy, so Magecraft again, it creates a treasure token. And the last creature here, Third Path Iconoclast. I hope I said that right. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 colorless soldier artifact creature token. Dang, I will say, this seems like a really strong creature set so far, and I'm guessing that the sorceries are probably going to be just as good, because the whole point of this deck is to play the spells like sorceries and all that. So yeah, so far that's really cool. Like the art. A couple of these are not as exciting, but I'd say overall beautiful art on each of them. Let's look at the sorceries next. So we have here Will of the Jeskai. I hope I said that right. That's one of the clans, but hopefully I'm saying it right. Choose one. If you control a commander as you cast a spell, you may choose both instead. So you either get to have each player discard their hand and draw 5 cards, or each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard gains flashback until the end of turn. The flashback cost is equal to its mana. So that's really good. That means that if you have like a lot of spells that you've played in your graveyard, you could play this and then just start playing from your graveyard, which is like a secondary hand, and play all your spells again. Very cool. Vanquish the Horde. I think we've seen that a couple times before. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature on the battlefield. Destroy all creatures. There you go. There's your board wipe. Everyone's favorite cards. Let me know in the comments. Do you guys like board wipes, or do you guys find them annoying? I like them. I think that they're always fun to kind of reset the board, but it is kind of annoying when you're playing for multiple hours and then a board wipe and everyone's back to square one. So I can understand why. Let me know what you think. Dismantling Wave. For each opponent, destroy up to 1 target artifact or enchantment that player controls. Pretty good. Cycling 8. And whenever you cycle this card, destroy all artifacts and enchantments. Oh, that's even better. Ancestral Vision. Suspend 4 and blue. Rather than cast this card from your hand, pay a blue and exile it with 4 time counters on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, remove a time counter from it, and when the last one is removed, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. Well, that's cool, because there's no mana cost on this card. Target player draws 3 cards, so that's cool. So you're actually just in 4 turns will get to draw 3 cards. Baral's Expertise. Return up to 3 target artifacts and or creatures to the owner's hands. Very good. You may cast a spell with mana value 4 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost. You get to do both of those things for 5 costs. That's really strong. Curse of the Swine. Exile X target creatures. For each creature exiled this way, controllers create a 2/2 green boar creature token. Rite of the Replication. Kicker 5. Pay an additional 5 as you cast this. Create a token that's a copy of a target creature. If you kicked it, you create 5 of them instead. Oh my god, that's really good too. Time wipe for a blue, 2 whites, and 2 colorless. Return a creature you control to its owner's hand. Oh, so you can save one of your own creatures and then board wipe. That's sick. That's a really good version of a board wipe where you at least save one of your creatures along the way. Compulsive research. Target player draws 3 cards. Then that player discards 2 cards unless they discard a land card. Deep analysis. Look at another dragon there. That's really cool. I got to say, so far the art, really, really liking it. So I know I kind of skipped through a couple of them, but really cool. I am enjoying the art on these ones. Target player draws 2 cards and then it has the flashback with pay 3 life as well. So you can play it again from your discard. Ponder, we all know what Ponder is. I've seen that multiple times. Look at the top 3 cards of your library, then put them back in any order, and you may shuffle and then draw a card. Preordain, scry 2, then draw a card. Faithless Looting, draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards, and it has flashback. Mana Geyser? I think it's Geyser. Add a red for each tap land your opponents control. Ooh, that's good. And Expressive Iteration. Look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand, put one of them onto the bottom of your library, and exile one of them. You may play the exile card this turn. Man, really cool. I think that the sorceries, another really exciting set. I can see the combo. I can envision it, which is really cool. I don't like when the decks have to be like played and they're confusing. This is simple. Play spells, get them, duplicate them. Oh, it's a really simple deck. It seems like a fairly new player friendly in my opinion so far. Let's look at the enchantments. Only 6 of them. Artifacts and then instants. We'll kind of just power through these here. And then we'll give kind of our quick final thoughts on how exciting this deck looks or not. Enchantment. Aligned Heart. This one has Flurry, so whenever you cast your second spell each turn, put a rally counter on this card. It should say, it does say on this enchantment, which is better than on Aligned Heart, again, which is good. Create a 1/1 white monk token with prowess for each rally counter on this. Very cool. So you're going to, over time, play multiple stuff, stack it up, and then get a bunch of monks out. Tempest Technique. This card has Storm. Copy it for each spell you cast before this. Nice. Enchant a creature you control. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each enchantment you control. Which there are only 6 enchantment in the base, so you could end up buffing all your creatures by +6 at that in this case. Whirlwind of Thought. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, draw a card. Simple, really good to have. If you pull that off pretty early, you can get a lot of really good stuff from that one. The Ghostly Prison. Creatures can't attack you unless their controller pays 2. That's going to be awesome. Curse of Opulence. Enchant a player. Whenever enchanted player is attacked, create a gold token. Each opponent attacking that player does the same. Oh, that's cool. And then Shiny Impetus. Enchanted creature. Enchanted creature gets +2 attack, +2 defense, and is goaded. It attacks each combat if able and attacks a player other than you if able. Okay, that's good. Whenever enchanted creature attacks, you create a treasure token. Pretty good. Artifact-wise, looks like we know the Arcane Signet, the Soul Ring is there too. Adaptive Training Post. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, if this artifact has fewer than 3 charge counters on it, put a charge counter on it. Remove 3 from this artifact. When you cast your next instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy it and may choose a new target. So that's really good. Again, get to double up on some of your abilities. Azorius Signet, pretty simple there. These are all just like land stuff. Mana, adding mana, more mana, more mana. Okay, pretty simple artifacts there. And then we've got the instants. So the instants and the sorcery, we already looked at them, but the idea is that you have to look at every single one and think, how can I do this multiple times? Because the whole point of the deck is to double them up. So let's look at the instants here and see how strong they could be and how good would they be if we were able to do it twice every single turn. So first thing we got is Transforming Flourish. Demonstrate. I don't know what that is. Oh my god, that's so small. When you cast a spell, you may copy it. If you do, choose an opponent to also copy it. Players may choose new targets. Okay, that's what it says. For their further copies. Destroy a target artifact or creature you don't control. If that permanent is destroyed this way, its controller exile cards from the top of their library until they exile a non-land card. Then they may cast that card without paying its mana cost. And again, you can do this multiple times, so really cool. Narset's Reversal. Copy a target instant or sorcery spell, then return it to its owner's hand. You may choose a new target for the copy. Okay, that's cool. So just copy it. Sublime Epiphany. Choose one or more. Oh my god. Counter target spell. Counter target artifact or triggered ability. Return a target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Create a token that's a copy of a target creature you control, and target player draws a card. That's pretty good. And you could... No restrictions here. It is a 6 cost, but you can do as many of those as you want. Electro Dominance deals X damage to any target. You may cast a spell with mana value X or less from your hand without paying its mana cost, and it's X to spend. Really good there. Expansion Explosion. I can't read sideways, so we're just going to keep going. Magma Opus deals 4 damage divided as you choose among any number of targets. Tap 2 target permanents. Create a 4/4 blue and red elemental creature token. Draw 2 cards. And again, you could do that multiple times. And then you can spend red or blue. Discard this card. Create a treasure token. Prismary Command. Choose 2. Deal 2 combat damage. 2 damage to any target. Target player, wow, it's so small. Target player draws 2 cards, then discards 2 cards, and then create a treasure token or destroy target artifact. Fantastic. Sword of the Plowshare. Exile target creature. Its controller gains a life equal to its power. They got Consider, Survey, and Draw. Draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards. Untap 3 of your lands. Oh, that's exciting. Opt, scry 1, draw a card. Punga. Okay, here, let me scroll down so we can hopefully see it properly. Discard target creature. It can't be regenerated. Its controller creates a 3/3 green apple token. Think twice, draw a card with flashback. Abrade, choose 1. You can either deal 3 damage to a creature or destroy target artifact. And last but not least, we got Big Score. As an additional cost to cast a spell, discard a card. Draw 2 cards and create 2 treasure tokens. Nice. Oh, man. First thoughts. I mean, that was a lot of reading, so I apologize. Thank you guys for listening to me stumble across all of those cards. Pretty cool. A lot cooler and more interesting than I thought it would be. Now that I kind of see... I like the abilities of the commanders. I talked about that yesterday, but I kind of felt like it was like, you know, we've seen this before. Spellcaster just doing multiple spells. But I actually like the creatures specifically are probably the standouts in my opinion. But the spells are also really good, like the sorceries and the instants. So I can see the combos there. Looks like it could be a really good deck. Getting a bunch of monks on the board with prowess is probably going to be insane as well. And then here are the tokens real quickly. Dragon Illusion, Elemental, and then the monks and the gold. More monks. Let's see what's on the other side. Elemental, copy, First Mate, Ragavan, and the treasure. Treasure there. And that's it. Wow, okay. First impression, pretty exciting. I'm excited to give this deck a try. I'm excited to see what the other decks look like too. So a quick reminder for anyone that's wondering what's going on. Today is Wednesday, March 19th. You guys are probably going to be watching this video of a breakdown of this. We're going to be back Thursday on the 20th with a breakdown of... Which one is next? Is it this one? That's the 21st. The 20th is going to be Mardu Surge. So tomorrow we'll be back with Mardu Surge. The 21st is Sultai Arisen. I will not be able to post a video about this one on Friday because I work 12-hour shifts on Friday. So I'm actually busy from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And then I also work 8 a.m. on Saturday. So absolutely no way I could pull off a video on this one on Friday. So expect one of my Assassin's Creed booster, because the new Assassin's Creed game, so I made an Assassin's Creed booster video, to pop up on Friday for you guys. Saturday night, once I'm back from my extremely long weekend of work, I will post a video about Sultai Arisen, and then the last 2 are on Monday and Tuesday of next week, which those ones I will be able to post as soon as they come out because I will be home for those ones. So we will have Abzu Armor on the 24th, and then the 25th would mean it is Temur Roar. So there you go. That's the full breakdown of the schedule for the channel for the next coming days. Let me know which ones you're excited for and subscribe because we're going to talk about all of them. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to breathe now. See ya. Bye-bye.